today's relaxed selection is Landslide by Stevie Nicks. It was one of two songs she brought with her when she joined Fleetwood Mac, the other being Rhiannon. And as the title would suggest, being somewhat erosive and destructive, it describes a time in her life when things weren't going quite so well, including her relationship with Lindsey Buckingham. It was written while staying at a hotel in Colorado and looking out at the Rocky Mountains and sort of imagining what a landslide in her personal life would feel like. Here's a beautiful song from Stevie Nicks, Landslide. Okay, let's get started with Landslide. And one of the really cool things about this song is that Stevie Nicks sang it originally, and with that sultry, husky voice, it lends itself very well to crossing over and having guys sing the song as well. In the original key, which is an E-flat key, which is, we don't want to be playing in that. So what most players do with this song is the capo the 3rd fret, and then our root chord or our key chord is going to be C, open C. And that changes everything, makes things a lot easier. This is not difficult when played with the capo and the 3rd fret. So let me give you the chord names and chord formations you need to play. I'm going to call this C, of course, with the capo on. It's not a C anymore, but that's what we're going to call it in the song. So you need the following chords: an open C, and then I believe this chord is called G over B. Not sure why. There's some theory there that escapes me sometimes in chord names. But the chord is played by placing your first finger on the 5th fret of the 5th string and your pinky finger on the 6th fret of the 2nd string, and then those 4 middle strings of the guitar are the ones that are played. G over B. You need an A minor 7, and that's simply playing an A minor chord in this position and lift up the 3rd finger. A minor 7. You need an open G chord, and we are going to drop the bass note in that while we're playing it in the song, but the chord is an open G. You need an E minor, and then finally you need an open D chord with my thumb wrapped around and covering the 5th fret of the bottom string. And that's important. That note is important. It's a transition note, and this is the transition chord between the verse and the bridge of Landslide. So to review quickly the chords you need: open C, G over B, A minor 7, open G, E minor, and D with that A note thumbed on the 6th string. And those are the chords you need for Landslide. Alright, the intro to this song is the same as what's being played in the verses, and this is how the song begins. And we're going to cycle through 3 chords, 4 chords, but 3 different chords. And that's the C, the G over B, the A minor 7, back to the G over B. And that completes a cycle. So again, the cycle is C, G over B, A minor 7, G over B. Now the trick here is, and you can practice going through these, I mean you could just but we're going to try and make it a little sweeter than that, and yet compromise. Lindsey Buckingham is one of the finest finger-picking guitarists in the history of certainly recorded music, popular recorded music. He's really quite amazing at it. I'm not, and so a lot of times I'll choose to compromise, and rather than just strum through it in that fashion there, I'll choose to compromise a little bit. Now, one of the compromises is to pick through it like so. And you can do that, I think, if you're playing for someone and entertaining with this song and singing it from the heart. I would want to focus mostly on the delivery of the lyrics and the singing in this song. So I would want to maybe cheat a little bit on that and do something like this. So that's what I'm going to go with. If you choose to finger pick it, you can look this up, but I think the actual finger picking method in this is, the pattern is string 5, 5, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. And that's the pattern for all the chording. Again, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to compromise here and come up with something that's a campfire version but I still think sounds quite good. And that's took this love and I took it down. Climbed a mountain and I turned around. Okay, so let me show you what I'm doing there. A close-up look at the right hand. All right, let's take a closer look at what we're doing here. And one of the keys is definitely to pick down on your root note or your lead note to lead into the playing of the chords. So for the C chord, that happens to be this note on the 5th string. And then I've just come up with a nice little random strumming pattern that is pick, up, down, up, down. But rather than strum all the strings every time, it's more random than that. It's it doesn't matter what notes I hit as I'm picking through. I can try to pick individual notes there, but they're all going to be part of the chord, so they're all going to sound good. Now, the important thing again is the lead note and that the pattern is consistent. So it's I think that sounds pretty good for this song. Again, that lead note changes from this note to when I go to G over B, it changes to that note, which is the 5th fret of the 5th string. And then on the A minor 7, it becomes what is now the open 5th string, and then goes back to fret 5, and then back to fret 6 for the C chord as it cycles through. So one more time in slow-mo. And that's what I'm doing for strumming in Landslide. Just before we get into a playthrough of an intro and a verse, I wanted to show you that at the end of the first verse, or if you like the middle of the first verse as it transitions to the second half of the first verse, he hangs on to that A minor 7 a little bit. So the last line is like this. Till the landslide brought me down. So he stays on the A minor 7. And then we have that little climb up, and those are just the 3 root notes we already talked about. We go from... So we want to play the open for the A minor 7, and then the 5th fret, and then back to the 6th fret for the C chord. So one more time on that transition, because we'll include that in the playthrough. Till the landslide brought me down. A mirror in the sky, what is love? Like so. Okay, let's do that playthrough. Took my love and I took it down. Climbed a mountain and I turned around. And I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills. Till the landslide brought me down. A mirror in the sky, what is love? All right, I want to spend some time on the transition from out of the verse into the bridge section of the song. And remember, that's where we said we would go to use the open D chord with the thumb on the 5th fret. And so it's like this. I'll just play through the chords, and they are extended here a little bit because some of the lyrics here are kind of dropped, and there's a little bit of just kind of thoughtful moments in the song, and some humming and that sort of thing. So it's kind of like this. Oh, mirror in the sky, what is love? And the child within my heart rise above. Can I sail through the changing ocean tides? Can I handle the seasons of my life? So coming out of that A minor 7 the last time, well, I've been afraid of changing. That's going to take us into the bridge section. So again, just coming out of that. So now the lead note here is that thumbed note. That's why we thumb it, so we can play it here. And along with the open D chord, it takes us into the bridge section. Which we will now cover. So follow along here through the bridge section. It's the same picking style. The lead notes change. First of all, we've got the 6th fret of the 6th string is our lead note in that G chord. So all I'm doing there is just dropping that 6th fret down to 5 with my 2nd finger, and I'm still picking the same chord. It's still a G chord. Okay, and the 3rd chord is the E minor, and then the C, the G over B, the A minor 7, the D. Okay, so again, the pattern. And repeats, of course. So just kind of loosely putting some singing to this. Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around. But time makes you bolder. Okay, I think you get the idea. That's the bridge section. Let's do a playthrough of it. Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around. But time makes you bolder, even children get older, and I'm getting older too. All right, I'm not going to cover the guitar solo in this lesson, but this is right after the bridge is where Lindsey Buckingham plays this. And what I am going to show you is the scale around which you can construct your own guitar solo or try to duplicate his. So I'm going to give you some notes here. Okay, just these notes here. So we're on 11 and 13 of the 2nd string. And then we go 10 and 13 on the 1st string. So that's 11, 13, 10, 13, 15 on the 1st string. And if we bring this down, we go to 12, 12 and 10 on string 3, 12 and 10 on string 4, and 13 on string 5. So just kind of walking through the scale. And if you limit yourself to those notes, you can have a lot of fun creating a nice little melodic lead break after the bridge in this song. Okay, time for a playthrough, and we're going to play intro, verse, bridge section as our playthrough today. So it's basically everything that we've covered. Here we go.
I took my love and I took it down. Climbed a mountain and I turned around, and I saw my reflection in the snow-covered hills, till the landslide brought me down. A mirror in the sky, what is love? Can the child within my heart rise above? Can I sail through the changing ocean tides? Can I handle the seasons of my life? Well, I've been afraid of changing, 'cause I built my life around you. But time makes you bolder, even children get older, and I'm getting older too.
Okay, fine-tuning for Landslide. Well, for me, and I mentioned this earlier in the lesson, it's very, very important to focus on vocals here and delivery of the feeling of the song. That, the whole notion of the song is that, things are kind of caving in on someone's life, and it's a little bit of a thoughtful time. So lyrics and vocals first. Guitar is your backup, which is why I suggested something that's a little bit of a compromise. If you are up to the challenge, please feel free to go for the finger picking or the individual string picking, but I think we gave you a nice compromise there. Remember to try to emphasize the lead notes. I missed one in my playthrough there, one lead note, and it does, you notice it if you do miss them. But all in all, hey, great song, a nice one to pull out and play for people. Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks, Landslide. We'll see you next time on Song Mentor.